Hey everyone, welcome back to Elemental Cartomancy. You'll have seen from the title that this is a wee unboxing video. I'm excited to share some goodies with you that I got from Oneness Emporium. So from Cheryl at Oneness Emporium. Please check it out. I will link her shop in the description for you, so that you can go over there and check out some of the amazing stuff she's got. Um, so funny story. Uh, Cheryl has a heart of gold. Let's just start with that. So when Simon and I were live a few weeks ago, Cheryl said in the chat, "Oh, there's a wee something on its way to you," which is really sweet of her. Um, and I previously to that, in fact, some of you might know, I had been looking into a particular tarot deck, and I had been asking people, "Have you got this tarot deck, the Night Sun Tarot? Have you got this tarot deck? What do you think of it? Do you like it? Is it good? Blah blah blah." Um, so after Cheryl had put that in the chat that she'd kindly sent something, I went on to Oneness Emporium, and what with a view to getting the Night Sun Tarot. And I thought, I'll see what else is here. Whilst I'm here, maybe treat myself to something else as well. I was looking and I saw that Cheryl had the Llewellyn tarot on Oneness Symposium. I thought that was like out of print or really, really hard to get or something. So I thought, dare I? And I dared. So I got the Night Sun and the Llewellyn. Um, and Cheryl messaged me right on Instagram right after I placed the order and said, that's really funny that you've just done that because the postman's literally just been to pick up a package for you, and it was the Llewellyn Tarot. Because when Simon and I were live, we must have mentioned the Llewellyn Tarot through the live, and I'd said that I didn't have it. So she'd said, "I couldn't believe that you didn't have it, so I wanted to send it to you." Um, so yeah, it just so happened that I'd gone on and saw it afterwards and happened to click order for myself. Um, so yeah, so that arrived very quickly afterwards, obviously, because Cheryl had already sent it before I'd even clicked buy. Um, she must be psychic or something. What can I say? Um, and so she'd messaged me and said that's funny because it's already on its way to you. So she said, actually, I've got something in mind. I'm going to put something else in with your Night Sun Tarot for you, which was really, really kind of her, obviously. Um, so she then sent me, I then got another package through. So I had the Night Sun Tarot, which is this one. I'm going to open these and we'll have a quick look. These won't be detailed walkthroughs or anything. If you want to see a detailed walkthrough of any of these decks, then let me know and I can absolutely do that. Just let me know in the not in the description, in the comments. So Night Sun Tarot. But she also included well, I actually don't know how to say this now. Now I think about it, I should really have looked that up before, but it's this one. The Circe, Circa, Circe, Cirque, who knows? It's this one. Um, both Low Scarabeo, beautiful, beautiful decks. Uh, so yeah, so I feel absolutely spoiled. What I'll do, I'll show it before I show you some of the cards in these decks though. Cheryl always includes these envelopes that have just like a selection of random cards. I absolutely love this. I've probably shared this with you before, but I've got this. It's a box. It used to just be an envelope. This is what I want to do. Yeah, it used to just be an envelope that I kept this stuff in, but because I've obviously got so many now, it's been upgraded to a box, and it's basically just like all of these kind of a spare cards, like maybe like title cards, cards maybe from decks. Well, there's even a little white book in here actually, but cards from decks that I maybe don't use. Yeah, so like there's like some extra Lenormand cards. Let's see. Yeah, so like decks that I've got, like this one had two sun. This is the Zany Tarot. This had two sun cards, so I chose to use the other sun card. So yeah, these are just all kind of a wee extra cards. I keep them all in this box. So I love getting extra cards because I love adding them to my collection. So let's first of all have a wee nosy in here and see what cards we've got. Uh, so I actually don't know what any of the decks are. No, I'm not sure actually. I've got a feeling I know the deck that's on the tip of my tongue, but I'm not sure. So we've got the Page of Swords, the Three of Cups, and the King of Skies, which I'm taking it as like the King of Swords. Um, and yeah, I don't know any of the decks. And then in the other one, let's see what we've got. Let's see, so we've got Strength from that same deck, the Three of Trees, and yeah, that's the same one. We've got the Eight of Cups from this deck. So all beautiful decks. This is really annoying me because this is like an old, well-known deck that's on the tip of my tongue. It's the one that's got all the close-up. I think it's the one that's got the close-up faces. Um, anyway, yeah. So I love that we get these because I can obviously add them to my collection. We get a wee thank you for ordering card as well. So that's really nice, and you get a bookmark. I'm always losing bookmarks, so these are great. Um, so yeah, those are just the wee extra tidbits that we get. So I'm going to pop these in the box. Oh, that box is getting full actually. I'm going to have to upgrade it to an even bigger box now. Um, right, okay, the decks. Let's have a wee nosy at the decks. So I'll start with the Night Sun Tarot. This was the one that I had ordered. Uh, well, this is the one that I had my eye on for a while and I'd been asking people about. Um, so the reason that this deck kind of I suppose caught my attention. These are the backs, by the way, not reversible. So if that's a thing, then if that's something that matters to you, then that's maybe something to know about it. Um, it's to do with the correspondences that it has. That was why I'd initially kind of I picked up on it because like we can see here that it's got the Hebrew alphabet. Um, Correspondence on each of the majors. And this follows the system where the Fool is linked to Aleph, the Magician to, is it Beth or Bet? Um, High Priestess is Gimel, and so on and so forth. Dalet is that. Um, I know that, for example, the Mariel, which is where I kind of got my when I was first exposed to the idea of linking the Hebrew alphabet to the majors, Marie White does it slightly differently. So because Aleph is the first, uh, it's the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, she links Aleph to the magician. And she kind of goes through it that way, and then the Fool sits between judgment and the world. Um, so the Fool has the 21st letter, and the world has the final letter. I can't quite remember what they are right now, apologies. Um, but I quite liked that because, for example, I think that makes I believe it's Samek, that's the 15th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And that links to that, in that system, it linked to the devil. And Samek is kind of a drawing, it looks like an sort of like an O type, a closed off. Let me show you. I'll find it. And like I was kind of comparing it to, I think it's Nun, maybe the ninth. Okay, so there's that, and then so if we look at both of these, so they're quite similar. the letters, but this one leaves a bit of an opening, and this one is completely closed off. So the idea of, I want to say Samek, but I should really have looked that up before I started talking about it. Um, the idea of that being closed off and that linking it to the devil is, they're both kind of the way I understand it, they're both like a kind of a support system, or they speak to that idea. But with this one, you're not smothering the thing, you're leaving it space to breathe. Um, it is a very kind of a supportive energy. Whereas with Samek, it's more, it's fixed, it's closed off. You're not kind of giving it any space to grow and be an individual. Um, so that kind of in my mind, links nicely with the devil, because you've got that idea of the devil, as a kind of a crutch for people, and that energy will be something that people will, clutch onto and cling to and depend on. But it's not ultimately, well, sometimes it's not really in their best interest to do so, you know. Um, I should say I'm by no means an expert on the Hebrew alphabet. In fact, I would hesitate to say that I know anything about it. Really, the only stuff is what I've gathered from studying the Mariel Tarot deck, and even at that, it's just what sticks in my memory. So there's only a few that I remember wee tidbits about, and that's one of the links that I remember. So I should say that. Um, what else did I want to say to you actually? So yeah, that's the Hebrew alphabet. We've obviously got like so that like the fool is air. We've got like Mercury, so we've got the kind of astrological correspondences for the majors as well. Taurus for the Hierophant, Gemini for the lovers, etc., etc. So we have that. But then what we also have um, in the minors, we have the astrological correspondences for the 2 through 10 pips. So, like for example, the 5 of Cups, we've got Mars and Scorpio. 6 of Cups, we've got the Sun and Scorpio. 7, we've got Venus and Scorpio, and so on and so forth. So we have them. Um, I like to use those correspondences when I'm doing readings that pertain to timing. Um, so I've got a kind of a technique that I use for reading timing, when shifts are likely to happen in someone's life, when you're going to notice certain energy shifts and stuff like that. And I use these correspondences, not the Hebrew alphabet, the astrological correspondences. I use that when looking at timing. So that was what drew me to it. I never really spoke much about the artwork there, but the artwork, as you can see, is really it's different, it's striking. Um, but there's something really, really cool and really beautiful about it as well. Look at that strength card. The devil, nudity warning. The tower. So it's different, but it's not so different that it strays away completely from the images that we're used to seeing. There's definitely, like, you can link this up with your traditional kind of a imagery. Some of the minors, a lot of the minors are very different than what we're used to seeing. If it's not a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, put it that way. But stunning, stunning images we see. We've got the kind of the cups are arranged in in the shape of the tree of life. The Sphirot, the tree of life. Um, yeah. So I'm really happy. I think that's stunning. Look at that, 7 of coins. So I'm really happy with this, and I'm excited to use it, not just in timing readings, but just in reading in general. How are we doing for time? 14 minutes in. We're doing fine. So the next one I'll talk about is the Llewellyn Tarot. Now this is not in order, because this is the first one that came, and I've used it a couple of times. First thing to say, I suppose, is it's got that amazing Llewellyn card. I know lots of people hate Llewellyn cardstock, but I love it because I'm a riffle shuffler, and this is just perfect for that riffle shuffle. Um, the size, I think they're shorter but broader than your usual tarot size, but let's have a look. Yeah, so a wee bit shorter. Oh, tell if I didn't move the card. So you can see they're a bit shorter but a fair bit broader. They do have quite significant borders on them. So if you're not a fan of borders, then I mean, it'd be a good deck for trimming. The only thing is, well, actually, no, it would because the image is it looks pretty centralized. As much as there's the title here, I think that this is is centered, so you get a nice even trim on it when it comes to the backs. I think that would work quite well. The only thing is it's going to make the cards pretty small. When you take it down to just this image, because that's a lot of border that you'd be chopping off. So something to think about. Um, but yeah, the images themselves. This is based on kind of a like Welsh mythology, I think. Um, so each of the majors is linked to I don't know if it's deities or just heroes, characters. I don't know what. I'm not really that clued up on that kind of a thing. So I'm not 100% sure exactly who all of them are. But they're some of them are definitely deities because I'm sure we've got like Ariane Rod and Bridget and people like that. The minors are very much Rider-Waite-Smith. So if you're used to kind of a Rider-Waite-Smith and you like reading with that system, then this is probably a deck that's going to work pretty well for you. But as you can see, the artwork's just beautiful. The colours are stunning. It's just a really nice deck. I like the backs as well. Um, this comes in like one of these magnetic big sturdy boxes, so it does. And the guidebook is pretty brilliant. Lots of really good information in there. So there's even some like kind of a help on the kind of a Welsh pronunciation. So there is pronunciation key. Because I was having a look at the book when this came. Some spread information and stuff. So with the majors, you're getting a good bit of information on the person that the card is linked to. So that's like a good 2.5 pages. Um, and then we're getting like kind of a upright and reverse meanings. With the what actually, so that was the magician, yeah. So actually, that's not all you're getting because you're also getting this initial page on magician where it describes what we're seeing. And then you're getting the information on the deity and then the upright and reversed. With the minors, it's less information, I think. So we're kind of getting a page. So just an upright and a reverse meaning for the minors. So yeah, but it's a pretty nice thick book, decent size. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I done a reading for somebody last night with this deck actually, and it's apparently it's turned out to be quite helpful already. So I'm pleased with it. It wasn't last night I did the reading. I tell a lie. The thing that the reading was about was last night. The reading was the night before, I think. Doubting myself now. Okay, so that was the Llewellyn Tarot. And then the final one is the Circe, however we pronounce this word. Um, so this is kind of a tuck box. The Night Sun Tarot was the same, by the way. Tuck box, little white book, and it is Lo Scarabeo. So cards are smaller than your US games type size. So smaller and thinner, but still a nice size card. It's quite a nice card stock as well. This deck, by the way, it's like it's there's a slight sheen laminate to it, but it feels different. It feels kind of a matte. It's not it's not linen, but it feels different from your usual laminated cardstock. Um, can't even think what deck I would kind of liken it to. Uh, so this is another kind of a Rider-Waite Smith style deck, but the I think the artwork is really really nice and really quite different on this. And the use of color is really stunning and striking. Um, we've got our magician there, high priestess. Again, I'm not going to go through all of these. Let's have a look at some of the kind of a standard ones that people like to see. Lover's card. Um, love that strength. That's really nice. Sorry, I'm trying to hold these in a way where you can see the images. Backs are really nice too, by the way. Can we just appreciate that? Really nice colour. I love that kind of a deep red. The Hermit. I know lots of people like to see the Hermit card. Let's see, Justice, the Hanged Man, Death card. Love the kind of a shadowy, cloaked kind of a figure in death. Like, like we can't really. It's quite difficult to make out as well. Do you know what I mean? What is happening and where everything is, and death is very mysterious. There's lots of theories as to how it works and what happens and all this, but nobody really actually objectively, empirically knows. Um, so yeah, the devil card as well. That's quite cool. So yeah, that like it makes sense that death is that mysterious cloaked figure. Um, stunning tower. See the moon and the sun. Yeah, beautiful. And then like just to show you some of the minors, so they are in that kind of a traditional, quite Rider-Waite Smith style. Um, let's look at some swords. We love a good swords card, don't we? The swords is the last suit. Oh, so look at that. I love the color. Just the color of the swords is really striking in that. Very golden. That three of swords is different. So they're not quite sticking with the Valentine heart with the three swords through it. They have changed it up a bit, which is nice. I do appreciate. Um, Six of Swords. I've been watching a lot of Rachel Pollock videos on YouTube. I love doing that sometimes. I'll just search Rachel Pollock usually on Google actually, and look at the video results, and just find all different interviews and stuff that she's done. But she talks about, so if you've read 78 Degrees of Wisdom, you'll know about the story of when Rachel Pollock first encountered the tarot. It was when she offered to give someone a lift home, and they said, no, someone said, if you give me a lift home, I'll read your tarot cards for you. And she says she doesn't remember anything about the reading, but she does remember one particular card that just stuck in her mind, and it was the Six of Swords. Um, so that was why I mentioned all that. Let's see, the eight, the nine of swords, and the 10, beautiful 10 of swords. So yeah, look at that queen as well. Now I do like to do a wee reading, a wee sample reading. Let's see, we're at 24 minutes. I think as long as we keep this to under an hour, then not under an hour, under half an hour, under 30 minutes, then I'm happy. Oh, it shuffles like an absolute dream as well. So that was at riffle shuffling, good for overhand. With the smaller size, it's always going to be really good for overhanding. He says whilst he throws the cards everywhere. Where is this from? That's just kind of a sitting there, isn't it? What I'll do, I'll pause this. I'll get these. You know what I'm like. I like my cards to be properly mixed up. Or will I? Will we just? let's just give them a couple of shuffles and then I'll pick them from random points in the deck. How about that? Um, now, I did ask permission for this before. Um, I thought since Cheryl was kind enough to, send this stuff to me, I thought I would pull some cards for Cheryl as the sample reading. Like I say, I asked her first. I'm not just doing this without her permission. 'Cause I think that'd be a wee bit rude and a wee bit intrusive. But Cheryl says she doesn't mind. Um, so let's see. Let's just see what the cards want to tell us as a bit of a message for Cheryl. And that's Cheryl from Oneness Emporium. I'm saying that for the watcher's benefit. I'm sure the cards will know exactly who I mean. Okay, so sometimes I'll do cards like this. I'll kind of spread them out, and that spreads. Did you see how nicely that spread out there? That was like butter. And I'll do it like that. So let's see. We'll do one, two, three, four, five, six. Now, six card spread can sometimes take forever, but we're not going to. I'm not going to labour over this for too long or anything, so it will be quick. We'll do like a half Celtic cross, the first six. So starting off with the Ace of Pentacles in the middle, how that's presenting as the Four of Wands, that feels really positive right away. That says that there's new opportunities coming up around Cheryl just now. And it's the Four of Wands is a card of validation for me. It's celebration, but it's validating that you're on the right path and that things are happening. The stuff that you're working towards. The four is when you get that first validation, when you get that first kind of, all right, okay, right, this is good, this is really good for me. I'm quite happy doing this, and I feel as though I'm kind of in the right place right now. Still work to be done, but things are looking pretty good. Let's see, this for me, the top is the conscious. So the King of Cups. So very much connections with other people. Very much the mastery of those connections for me. Cups are connections. It's how we connect to other people around about us. Often how we connect inward as well. How we connect to ourselves. It's our kind of a bit of our power bank almost. It's our battery, our social battery, and everything else. Um, so right now, very much feeling in control of all that stuff. We then go to the unconscious card, and that's could be something that we maybe don't quite realise is going on around about us right now. Um, or maybe it's just something that it's in our peripherals, but we're not totally focused on it. Um, the lovers card comes up, so that could be like a kind of a choice. It could be things going off in directions. It could be, this is for Cheryl, so it could be that Cheryl's been going to have to make a choice between, what's expected, the kind of do I go with the responsible route, or am I going to be, am I going to do something for myself? So presented with an opportunity to just treat yourself. Quite often with these choices, being tempted towards the where what you desire, it can feel a wee bit selfish. But often, what I would say with the lovers card is there's nothing wrong with being a wee bit selfish. Do you know what I mean? So we have to be selfish in order to be selfless. You know what I mean? We have to kind of look after ourselves first before we can go outward and look after everyone else. So a bit of an opportunity for that, for a bit of like kind of a just self pampering for um yeah, just generally looking after yourself. We then have the kind of a past card, and then we have the future card if you want to look at it like that. Um, Lots of court cards coming up here, aren't there? So we've got the Page of Pentacles in the past going into the King of Wands. So this would suggest that whatever the opportunity is that the ace is maybe representing in the middle, whatever it is that's been validated, this feels as though like Cheryl, she's been working towards this, because we're starting as a page and we're ending up as a king. So whatever it is that you've been doing it for a while. You've been putting in a lot of effort and a lot of work in order to kind of better yourself. I mean, the Page of Pentacles as a student is a card about learning, so it feels like there's lots of effort going in to that, lots of time and kind of a resources being invested into this thing. With the King of Wands coming out, and even with that King of Cups up above, I feel as though there's definitely lots of reward in there. It's definitely going to a place where you're getting that sense of mastery. You're getting better at what you're doing. With the King of Wands, I always add on as like a wee message, like with the King of Wands needs to know when to be a king and when to be responsible and kind of take a step back and oversee things. But they're a king of fire. They want to be in and amongst it. They don't want to be constantly sitting back on a uh, what's the word? Not a crown, a throne. They don't want to be constantly sitting on a throne and just overseeing, watching everyone else do everything. They want to be involved. They want to be, they're energetic. They've got lots of energy and they want to be involved in it. Um, so it's about getting the balance right between those two things, between knowing when you need to be overseeing things and looking at the bigger picture and knowing when you need to be getting in there and getting your hands dirty. Okay, so I'm going to leave that reading there. That was for Cheryl from Oneness Emporium, who again has given her permission for this. Um, Thank you very much to Cheryl, just generally for your kindness, for sending me these amazing decks. Um, Also for giving me permission to read your cards on this, because I really do appreciate that. Thanks to all of you guys for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this. Again, leave me a comment if you want to see a full walkthrough of one or more of these decks. Then let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to do that. And yeah, until next time, take care, everyone, and I'll see you all later. Bye bye.